Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching Delta 038 and their platoon mate OTEZA playing in Tier 9 German medium tanks. Delta, who's going to be our hero today, is playing in the Kampfpanzer 50T. This vehicle is a reward from playing ranked, although you only really had to get to, I think it was the 3rd division to be able to, or the 2nd division to be able to have access to purchase this inside the shop, where you have to pay between, I think it was like 20,000 bonds, down a lot if you were able to achieve ranks inside the ranked game mode, which we haven't seen in about half a year now. So I'm wondering what Wargaming have planned for ranked, or if they've just decided to finally get rid of it for good after trying to make countless, at least in my opinion, dubious changes to the game mode to take it away from what it's meant to be about. Replicating the random queue and just changing it from 15 players down to 10 really kind of streamlined it to being that you could only really play heavy tanks or medium tanks to be able to compete. And today, Delta is going to show you why medium tanks just absolutely rule the battlefield in a situation like this on fjords. Now, Delta is in a very nice matchup here, and the Kampfpanzer 50T is a vehicle which kind of blends so many different vehicles into one. It's kind of like an E50 with regards to its armor, but it kind of has more of a gun like a Leopard prototype. It doesn't have the alpha damage of a Leopard prototype. As we can see, it has 320 instead of 420, but it has great penetration, also good access to premium rounds with 310mm of high explosive anti-tank pen, which are better than the 270mm of APCR that you will have on the E50. And so the Kampfpanzer 50T is kind of like an E50M that just has a different gun. Lower alpha, but definitely better ammunition. And that's why the vehicle is just so much more capable of dealing with a wider variety of opponents than the E50. Now, when you get into a matchup like this, if I was in an E50, I'd be licking my lips the possibility of maybe being able to ram something. And it doesn't even really matter that I only have 270mm of pen. But what you're going to be seeing later on in the game is just how much of an advantage the different rounds are on this vehicle. And when you look at the high explosive rounds as well, 420 damage with 53mm of pen, that can really chip apart some of the more lightly armored TDs. Now, I'm really interested by Delta and OTEZA's decision here to split up at the start of this game. Usually, I would have taken a platoon down towards the south, but we don't really have an opportunity to talk about that as Delta manages to ram the opposite medium tank on the enemy team for 315, only taking 111 in return. And that means that they can almost finish off the Skoda T50, who looks like they're actually boosting their hit points there with the durability module, just keeping them in the game. But down in the dip, they're not quite out yet, but maybe they will be later on. So when I said the south previously as to where I would take a platoon, I meant south of Delta's position. I'd have taken them into the dip, exactly where you see OTEZA in their Panzer. And the reason for that is that if you manage to take the dip, then you can plow up towards the north. But I also like their strategy here of having one player go up towards the north and one player in the Panzer using the vehicle's fabulous 15 degrees of gun depression to work that ridgeline there, because then they can be able to develop a crossfire. And one of the counterplays, if the whole of the enemy team that spawned towards the east is if you were the opposite team here, if you want to try and play from the west, if they attack the dip, is to actually go north or alternatively just power through the south. And it looks like the enemy team are powering through the south, winning the heavy engagement with absolutely no doubt. And that's inevitably something that Delta and OTEZA is going to have to deal with later. So here we have Delta finishing off their second kill of the game, shutting down that Skoda T50 that went away to lick their wounds, and now an APCR round through the lower plate of the WZ-121 FT there means that Delta has more kills than the rest of his team combined. Actually, triple the kills of the rest of his team combined here. But he's still got a load of work to do if they want to be able to have even a chance of getting through this one, as they're now outnumbered with 11 tanks, almost couldn't count there for a second, on the enemy team, and 7 vehicles on Teza's team, so outnumbered by 4 vehicles. So Teza reacts to the SU-130, who's sneaking at the back of the map. Lots of players now love to set ambushes up in that western location, and it was just a replay from a couple of months ago on this channel, or maybe even a month ago, where we saw what you can do in an M60 by just skulking around in that D1 area and just using the terrain and the rocks to be able to defend against an eastern push, which is definitely one of the reasons why I like to control the middle of the map, because if the enemies all camp up north, at least you can rotate out south and be able to deal with that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's Oteza's day, as they got set on fire by a Type 59 and shut down in this game. So now, Delta has lost their platoon mate, they've lost most of their team, they're down by 5 tanks, outnumbered 2 to 1. Make that even more now with the S-51 falling on Oteza's team to the M103, and they have got their work cut out for them if they want to be able to get through this. Oteza really likes to zoom in quite a lot. They might be using a modification, some kind of funny reticle here, because we see that they're always leaving the sniper mode whenever they fire. And I believe there is a mod that does that for you. Personally, it's something that I've never really thought about having an automated system to do it for me. Oteza, if you end up watching this, please let me know, or at least let Delta know to tell us if they're using a mod to be able to change the way that their reticle settings work here. Delta now really showing just how fast the Kampfpanzer 50T is as well. Just because it's got armor doesn't mean it has to sacrifice its mobility, and also doesn't even look like it really has to sacrifice its gun handling. Delta has actually decided to use a turbo, gun rammer, and vents on this vehicle, so they aren't using vertical stabilizers or any kind of an aiming device. But when your vehicle's got .33 accuracy, you don't really need to worry about that. Wow, Teza is now defending against the cap, bounces a shell with only 16 seconds left. Teza's thinking about going for the other vehicle that's inside the cap circle, but considering that the VK got pressure from, it looks like, the AMX CDA 105 with their parting gift towards the Tier 9 German heavy tank, that means that Delta can finish off that vehicle and has more than enough time here with 20 seconds to be able to go after the VK4503. Now, Delta is up to 7 kills in this game. They're going to secure a Radley Walters medal so early on in this replay. But the tanks just keep falling on Delta's team to the left, to the right. They've got 6 more kills than the rest of their team combined. The only other player having done anything with regards to finishing off vehicles is the Progetto 46. Delta's making good use of intuition here to switch between the rounds to be able to either have an advantage against the hull armor of the M103, and we can see that Delta's armor is keeping them in this. They still got 1,248 hit points to boot, and they've blocked 1,900 damage in this game. The Kampfpanzer, an absolute beast. And with the Scorpion falling on Delta's team, they were momentarily in a 1 versus 5 situation, meaning that they're also going to be competing for the one that everybody wants, the Kolobanov's medal today, ladies and gents, boys and girls. So Delta now being very aggressive around the corner against the T-54, but loses a fair amount of hit points there. Hopefully that won't come back to haunt Delta later on in the game, but you know what, when you've got them to spend, and also possibly the opportunity of getting hit by artillery, or maybe even some of the turreted glass cannon, tank destroyers on the enemy team, you don't want to hang around, and if you have an opportunity to secure a kill and trade your hit points against a vehicle that has relatively low alpha like the T-54, probably going to be worth it. Okay, Delta, you've already finished off more vehicles than most players would do in one of the best games they'll ever have on their World of Tanks account. You've still got a lot more to do here, Delta, if you want to be able to take this game down. 1,867 hit points to be exact on the enemy team, and 3 vehicles with decent penetration, at least 2 with decent penetration and 1 with filthy high explosive rounds that can be delivered from the other side of the map. So Delta is going to try and hunt the Scorpion here. It's got enough speed, but doesn't need to worry about speed, as fires a high explosive round into the upper turret of the Scorpion, avoids the fireworks there from the artillery on the enemy team, and a second high explosive round finishes off the Scorpion G, and wow, just like that, Delta has significantly changed the way that this battle is going to continue to flow. Now up to 11 kills against the enemy team, almost single-handedly managing to keep their team in this, or I think undoubtedly single-handedly keeping their team in this battle. And we can see that Oteza on Delta's platoon mate here might not have had the best game themselves. Or we'll have to take a look in the post-game stats. Maybe they dealt 6,000 damage before they fell. But propping up Delta, calling out how good they are and giving them a less than 3, and then says, "Oh, Maze Oteza," I guess. Is that with or is that without? I guess Maze, my French is really not very good. Let me know in the comments down below. I think Oteza is like not with. And then 13 kills. Hopefully, don't count your chickens before they've hatched, bud. Still got to deal with an SU. Still got to deal with an M12. And more importantly, without a fire extinguisher here, using chocolate to be able to gain that extra 10% crew skill, which will be a 5% effective advantage against a vehicle that doesn't use a premium consumable of obviously the same type. Tezza has their work cut out. So they spot an SU in the perfect opportunity. A penetrating high explosive round there, or was that an AP round rolling very low? Deals 376, but the follow-up finishes them off. And Satan on the enemy team has been shut down now. So with the SU-130 PM out of the game, now Tezza's got 972 hit points against a little lowly tier 7 artillery. So I'm going to speed this game up for just a little bit, and you'll notice that Tezza is going to do something incredibly cheeky. Look how much ammunition, sorry, not Tezza, Delta. You're going to notice just how cheeky Delta is going to be in this game. They are going through 12 rounds of high explosive anti-tank ammunition here, boys and girls. This is a disgusting amount of credits. They're spending 60,000 credits right now. We're advancing at the artillery, who misses them. Yeah, to... Can you guess what Delta is doing here? That's right. They are cheesing out a Fadin's medal. A medal which you get for finishing off the final remaining vehicle with the final remaining round in your tank. It's definitely going to have ended up costing Delta a lot. Was it worth it? Well, I guess in these kind of situations. How often are you getting 13 kills in World of Tanks? You just want to make it look even that little bit better, right? Delta raising the gun at the end of this battle as well. Truly showing off to the team, and probably also to his platoon mate in the form of Tezza, and also now showing off to the YouTube community after they uploaded their replay on the What Replays website. When I saw this game, I thought two things. One, what an absolute stellar all-round performance by Delta to, again, single-handedly pretty much put their team into the equation of this battle. And also, I haven't purchased this skin myself. Anyone remember Cataclysm? I guess that was the third expansion for World of Warcraft. Yeah, I think Wargaming might have had a little bit of inspiration here for that. So Delta damaged so many tanks that I actually have to scroll down a little bit to show it. And funnily enough, the only two tanks that Delta didn't manage to damage and didn't manage to finish off actually spotted, meaning that they did something to every single vehicle on the enemy team, and boy are they rewarded for it. A Pools medal for finishing off 13 vehicles, one away from the Rizena Heroes medal, the one that everybody wants, the Kolobanos medal for standing alone against 5 vehicles, a cheesy Fadin's medal, I have to admit, for artificially lowering their ammunition count to 1 round to finish off that artillery, a Defender medal for protecting the cap circle, a Crucial Contribution medal for getting 12 kills between their platoon, and Tezza, I think you owe Delta for this one. This really wasn't a joint Crucial Contribution medal, although, to be fair, a lot of the damage that Delta was doing, and even some of the kills, were probably achieved through Tezza managing to do 2,400 damage, and also holding that position and being able to spot for them. Also, a high caliber medal for 7,500 damage, and this was 2,064 base experience points, although Delta gave themselves 146,000 credits ammunition resupply cost. You could have saved at least about 60 or 70k there, and actually managed to lose credits even while using some kind of artificial credit booster. So Delta, congratulations to you for this absolute gargantuan round of World of Tanks, and thank you so much for uploading the replay on the What Replays website for the community to enjoy. I thoroughly did, and I hope everyone out there watching this video did as well. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, however, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for my return on Twitch, and I'm going to be bringing you a Tech Tree showcase of the now top of the tree AMX 50B. And so come along right now if you want to see that I can still play World of Tanks after 2 weeks of not actually playing the game, where I'm going to be showing you the original auto-loading tanks, which were the French heavies and also the French mediums when they first went in back in 2011. So really looking forward to seeing you all live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.